Chapter 8. The Silver Mist Passage. The 10th day of the reconstruction began with the same rhythmic symphony that had come to define Amaranthan. The rasp of saws, the rhythmic thud of mallets, and the low, collective murmur of a city finding its voice again. Otnam was in the market district, his hands stained with the gray dust of ancient mortar. He was helping a team of masons reset a massive granite cornerstone, his shoulder pressed against the cold stone, his breath hitching in the humid morning air. Suddenly, the air around his waist thrummed. The communication stone, nestled in a leather pouch at his belt, began to pulse with a steady, rhythmic violet light. Otnam stepped back, wiping his hands on a rag as the masons continued their work. He pulled the stone from its pouch. It was warm to the touch, vibrating with a message that had traveled across leagues of mountain and river. "Receive the message," Otnam commanded. Justin Allen, who had been supervising a nearby inventory of salvaged timber, stepped forward. He took the stone with professional care, his eyes narrowing as he began to decode the intricate arcane script shimmering on its surface. Her expression, usually a mask of neutral efficiency, shifted. A slight lift of an eyebrow, a tightening at the corners of her mouth. "It's from Stoneheart," he announced, her voice carrying a weight that silenced the nearby workers. The message was clear, etched in the blunt, uncompromising style of the mountain clans. "To Otnam of Silverstrand Kingdom, your comprehensive damage assessment against the blood tide intrigues us. We propose a direct meeting in neutral territory, the mountain pass trading post bordering both our territories, 1 week from receipt of this message. Terms of discussion: verify damage claims against the blood tide, discuss potential trade realignments, explore mutual economic interests, bring diplomatic credentials. We will match your delegation size. Signed, Council of Clan Leaders, Stoneheart." Justin looked up, the stone's light fading back into a dull gray. "They've responded diplomatically, sire. It's an invitation, but also a test. They want to see if the new Archon is a statesman or merely a warlord. The location is near our border," Otnam said, his gaze turning toward the northern peaks. "It is neutral ground. I will attend. If we are to secure the Silvermist River, we must secure the respect of the Stoneheart clans." Preparation began with the same intensity Otnam applied to the city's walls. He did not want an army. He wanted an elite scalpel. Justin quickly compiled a list of candidates, each a master of their craft. For the long-range Overwatch, Lyra Stormwind had recommended Arya Swiftshadow. A veteran of the blood tide conflicts, Arya was a ghost in the wilderness, her marksmanship as legendary as her ability to survive in environments that would kill a lesser scout. For the Martial Corps, there was Marcus Ironheart, a decorated veteran of the city's defensive forces. Marcus was a man of steel and discipline. He didn't just fight, he orchestrated combat, his tactical prowess making him an anchor for any unit. To handle the delicate matters of health and biological science, Otnam selected Dr. Kelly Moonwhisper. As the lead medical researcher from the College of Talents, she was as skilled with a scalpel and traditional herbs as she was with the restorative magics Otnam had begun to reintroduce to the city. Finally, to navigate the treacherous currents of the Silver Mist, they needed Captain Torek Ruzian. He knew every sandbar and eddy of the river, a man who could read the water like a scholar read a scroll. An elite team, Justin noted as the group gathered at the docks. Balanced, skilled, and prepared for the unpredictable. Dr. Blackwood stepped forward before they boarded, presenting Otnam with a refined sending stone, its surface polished to a mirror finish. Calibrated to the emergency command center, the doctor explained, the whir of his prosthetic hand clicking in the morning air. "One touch, and the city will know your status instantly." Lyra approached Otnam, her scarred hand gripping his shoulder with surprising strength. "Keep your wits sharp, Otnam. Stoneheart negotiates with steel as much as words. If they smell weakness, they will bury you in the mountain." "I have no intention of being buried," Otnam replied. As the sun climbed higher, Otnam boarded Captain Torek's vessel. The city watched from the shore, 1,000 eyes filled with a mixture of hope and the lingering shadow of fear. The Archon was leaving, but he was leaving them with walls, with food, and with a future. "Set sail," Otnam commanded. "And Marcus, bring the practice blades. I intend to use this time." The journey up the Silver Mist was not a time for leisure. As the boat cut through the cold, clear water, Otnam spent hours on the deck with Marcus Ironheart. The warrior's shield gleamed in the midday sun as he demonstrated a complex defensive stance. "Watch the footwork, sire," Marcus instructed, his voice low and steady. "Your shield isn't just a wall. It's a lever. It's a weapon. If you wait for the blow to land, you've already lost. You must meet the attack, redirect the energy." Otnam attempted to mirror the movement, but as the boat lurching over a river swell, his balance faltered. His practiced sword wobbled, and he nearly stumbled. Marcus raised an eyebrow, a ghost of a smirk on his rugged face. "The river demands its own balance. You're fighting the boat as much as you're fighting me. Feel the rhythm of the water. Let it move you, rather than resisting it." Arya Swiftshadow watched from her perch on the mast, her bow across her lap. "Some lessons take time," she called down, her tone teasing. "Your magical training wasn't instant either, was it? Or did you just snap your fingers?" "Magic is a bargain of the mind," Otnam replied, adjusting his grip. This is a bargain of the bone. It is good for some physical practice, even if I am more magically inclined. It never hurts to have a backup when the spells run dry." He focused, trying to merge his center of gravity with the swaying deck. When the boat rocked toward Marcus, Otnam didn't fight the momentum. Instead, he dropped low, using the tilt of the deck to slide forward on his knees. He held his shield steady, aiming to catch Marcus off balance and knock him back. But Marcus was a veteran of 100 such tricks. He sidestepped with the fluid grace of a dancer, and Otnam slid past him, his shield scraping against the wooden deck. Marcus reached down, helping Otnam to his feet. Intent was sound, execution was adventurous. "You're learning to listen to the environment, though. The boat, the river, your opponent, they all speak. Your job is to understand their language before they use it to silence you." Hours turned into days. Otnam persisted, refusing to retire even when his muscles burned and his hands were raw from the hilt of the practiced sword. He wasn't seeking a quick victory. He was seeking growth. He wanted to understand the space between himself and his opponent, the timing of a breath, the shift of a shoulder. "Interesting philosophy," Marcus commented during a brief rest. "Most warriors seek to win. You seek to understand. Knowledge is the only thing that cannot be taken from you," Otnam said, wiping sweat from his brow. "Though even that is often lost to me in the end. It takes time to train a new body, to get used to its form and how it moves." Dr. Kelly Moonwhisper raised an eyebrow at this, having observed the training with clinical precision. "Systematic approach," she muttered. "Methodical improvement. Scientifically sound." But this time, she seemed to have something more to say. "What do you mean by that, sire? A new body?" Otnam paused, the practice blade resting against his leg. He looked out at the churning water of the Silver Mist. "It is a long story, Doctor. Some of it you may have heard, some I will never tell. All you really need to know is that when the blood tide attacked Amaranthan, the poor soul whose body this was, he died. My lady returned me in his place. I have few memories, mainly those I need to fulfill my duty." A shocked gasp escaped the group on the boat. Dr. Moonwhisper looked Otnam up and down, her eyes wide with professional and personal disbelief. "But you don't look undead. I have seen you bleed. I have seen you sweat. You are correct. I am not undead. I am alive, and yet not," Otnam said, his voice dropping to a somber register. "I am a soul keeping a body not his own alive and moving. But the undead are not all as evil as they seem. It depends on whom or what they serve." "Fascinating," the doctor whispered, her fear momentarily eclipsed by her scientific curiosity. "My lady has servants of all types, including those you would call undead," Otnam continued. "But those that serve her would not harm the living without cause." The group looked at him with a mixture of shock and fright. Otnam relaxed his stance, trying to ease the tension. If you have questions, go ahead. I am still the same man you have served these past weeks. Suddenly, Otnam's voice shifted. It aged, gaining an echoing overlay, as if his goddess was speaking through him, her voice harmonizing with his own. He began to recite a verse, one that felt more like a contract, a promise, an oath than a poem. My oath in blood, bound ages deep, a vow of love that I must keep. My price was paid in memories shorn, to serve her light, I was reborn. My fidelity, a cold, bright flame, I wake to serve, my love, her cold dark flame. She claims my breath, she claims my years, she drinks my joys and drains her tears. My tribute found in every life and death, through peace, death, and endless strife. My slate is clean, my bond was always true. She called me then. She made me anew and gave me a name, Otnamum Iram. The words trailed off into the wind, leaving a profound silence in their wake. It's beautiful, Arya said softly, her smirk gone. But what does it actually mean? It means, Otnam said, his voice heavy with 1,000 years of weariness, that I serve again and again, my memories becoming her eternal dreams. I fight to protect her from the pain. I serve so she may dream. I walk where she cannot or should not to spare her suffering. She calls and I answer and balance is maintained. He looked at them, his blue eyes piercing. I serve to spare others the pain I could not prevent. Ask no more of this for now. The silence held for a long time as the boat continued its journey north. On the 5th day, the jagged peaks of the northern pass began to dominate the horizon. The air grew colder, smelling of pine and ancient stone. The mountain pass trading post, a neutral hub of stone buildings and wooden docks, came into view. Otnam retired to the cabin and emerged wearing a simple but sturdy breastplate, a long sword at his hip and a kite shield strapped to his arm. It was a stark contrast to his usual regal attire, a signal of his readiness for the blunt reality of the mountain. Arya, Otnam called out as they approached the docks. Does the area look clear from up there? No unusual shadows in the alleyways. Arya's eyes swept the trading post with predatory focus. Clear, she reported. Standard merchant traffic. Local guards are on their usual routes. No sign of an ambush. The boat glided smoothly to the dock. Captain Torek secured the lines with practiced efficiency. The team moved with calculated precision. Marcus took point, his hand resting on the pommel of his sword. Arya maintained overwatch from the deck. Dr. Kelly clutched her diplomatic documents. The trading post was a bustle of mountain commerce. In the central plaza, beneath the shadow of a massive stone archway, a group of individuals waited. They were a stark contrast to the people of Amaranthan. Heavily bearded, clad in thick mountain leathers and furs, their skin marked with the intricate, swirling tattoos of the Stoneheart clans. They stood with the solid, immovable presence of the peaks themselves. Their leader, a broad-shouldered woman with steel-gray braids and eyes like flint, stepped forward. The air between the two delegations crackled with a silent, heavy tension. The Silver Mist Protocol had truly begun.